The war at Dutton Ranch is no longer about land, money, or revenge. It's about who is willing to cross the line first. After everything that happened, Beulah Jackson starts noticing that something has changed. Rip Wheeler isn't moving like a man trying to protect the ranch anymore, he's moving like someone who already has a plan. Rob Will has become the biggest threat standing in everyone's way, and Rip knows a direct attack could destroy everything they've built. So instead, Rip chooses a different strategy. He goes through the one person Rob Will never expected to turn against him, Joaquin. But Rip's secret plan may not stay hidden for long. Because Beulah Jackson has survived too many battles to miss the warning signs. She sees the late-night conversations. She sees Joaquin changing. She sees Rip staying calm while everyone else is falling apart. And suddenly, Beulah realizes the truth. Rip isn't waiting for Rob Will to make his next move. He's already making sure Rob Will never gets the chance. The question is, when Beulah discovers Rip is using Joaquin to take Rob Will down, will she stop him? Or will she allow Rip to do what nobody else had the courage to do? Rip Wheeler has never been the kind of man who waits for problems to solve themselves. When Rob Will becomes a danger to everyone at the ranch, Rip realizes that confronting him head-on could create a war nobody can control. So instead, Rip turns to the one person who can get close enough to Rob Will without raising suspicion, Joaquin. At first, Joaquin refuses to believe Rip's warnings. He still sees Rob Will as family. He still believes there's a chance to fix things, but Rip begins revealing the truth, the damage Rob Will has caused, the people he has betrayed, and how far he's willing to go to protect himself. Rip tells Joaquin that Rob Will isn't fighting for the family anymore, he's fighting against it. Slowly, Joaquin begins to understand why Rip made this move. But the plan comes with a dangerous price. Because if Rob Will discovers Joaquin is working with Rip, there won't be any going back. Rip's mission is simple: get Joaquin close enough to Rob Will. Earn his trust. And when the moment comes, make sure Rob Will can never threaten the ranch again. But Rip may have underestimated one thing. Joaquin may be willing to protect his family, but he may not be willing to become the weapon Rip wants him to be. And as the plan moves forward, Beulah starts connecting the pieces. She realizes Rip didn't just recruit Joaquin. He turned him into the key player in a war nobody saw coming. Beulah Jackson has spent her entire life protecting her family, her ranch, and everything she built. So when she starts noticing the strange tension between Rip and Joaquin, she knows something is wrong. Joaquin is quieter. Something isn't adding up at the ranch, and Rip Wheeler is about to uncover the truth. In Dutton Ranch Episode 7, Rip begins to question Beulah's real intentions after noticing that her attention toward Carter goes far beyond simple mentorship. What looked like an act of kindness may have been a carefully planned move to secure the future of the ranch. Beulah has been giving Carter more responsibility, pulling him closer, and slowly shaping him into someone who could become the key to controlling everything. But Rip knows one thing better than anyone: a ranch war isn't always fought with guns. Sometimes the biggest battles happen through loyalty, trust, and family. And when Rip realizes Carter may be the center of Beulah's plan, he starts asking the question that could change everything: is Beulah protecting Carter, or using him to take over? Because if Rip is right, the Duttons may have welcomed their biggest threat through the front gate. Rip Wheeler has survived enough battles to know when something feels wrong. At first, Beulah seemed like an ally. She opened her doors, offered the Duttons a place to rebuild, and appeared to respect everything Rip and Beth had fought for. But slowly, Rip begins noticing the small details. The way Beulah keeps pulling Carter closer. The way she gives him access to important decisions. The way she talks about his future like she already knows exactly where he belongs. To everyone else, it looks like Beulah is simply helping a young man find his purpose. But Rip sees something different. He sees a strategy. Carter isn't just learning how to run a ranch, he's being positioned for something much bigger. And the more Rip watches, the more he starts to believe Beulah may be trying to create a new future, one where Carter becomes the connection between the Dutton legacy and her own empire. Rip knows Carter has always been searching for a family. And that's what makes this dangerous. Because the person who controls Carter's loyalty could control the future of the ranch. Now Rip has a choice: trust Beulah, or expose what he believes is the biggest threat the Duttons have faced yet. Rip's suspicions grow stronger when he finally starts connecting the pieces. Beulah was never just offering Carter a chance to learn ranch life. She saw something in him that others overlooked. Carter has the determination of a survivor, the discipline Rip taught him, and the Dutton connection that gives him a place in the ranch world. To Beulah, he isn't just a young cowboy trying to find his way, he's the future. The shocking possibility is that Beulah has been preparing Carter to become the bridge between two powerful ranch families. Instead of fighting Rip and Beth directly, she may be planning something much smarter, shaping the next generation so the future of the land falls into her hands. Every lesson. Every opportunity. But this is still her ranch. Rip refuses to back down. He believes Beulah is too emotionally connected to Rob to make the choice that needs to be made. He tells her that sometimes saving a family means sacrificing the person destroying it. But Beulah sees the danger in Rip's methods. Because a man who is willing to manipulate one person to win a war, could eventually manipulate everyone. Their conversation becomes a battle of power, trust, and control. Rip believes he is protecting the future. Beulah believes she is protecting what remains of the family, and neither of them is willing to surrender. Meanwhile, Joaquin is caught between them. He has to decide whether he is Rip's weapon, or whether he will finally choose his own path. As the ranch divides, one thing becomes clear: the fight for Dutton Ranch has entered a new phase. The enemy is no longer outside the gates. The war is now inside the family. The final moments of episode 7 reveal that the biggest threat at Dutton Ranch was never just Rob, it was the secret everyone was hiding. After Beulah confronts Rip, she believes she finally understands his plan. She thinks Rip used Joaquin to corner Rob and force him out. But then Joaquin makes a shocking confession. He reveals that Rip wasn't the only one making moves behind the scenes. Someone else has been pulling the strings. And the person everyone trusted may have been playing both sides. Rob, realizing the betrayal, makes one last move to protect himself. But instead of attacking Rip, he exposes a secret that could destroy the entire ranch. A secret involving Beulah's past. A secret Rip never knew about. Suddenly, Beulah realizes the war she thought she was controlling has grown bigger than she imagined. Rip wanted to remove Rob. Rob wanted revenge. But now both of them discover the same thing: they were distracted from the real enemy. The episode ends with Rip standing face to face with Beulah, knowing the next decision could change everything. Because the question is no longer, can they save the ranch? The question is, who will still be standing when the truth finally comes out? The battle at Dutton Ranch is far from over. Rip thought taking down Rob would bring peace. Beulah thought she could control the damage. And Rob believed he could survive any betrayal. But episode 7 changes everything. With secrets exposed and loyalties destroyed, the ranch is now more divided than ever. Joaquin's choice could decide the future of the entire family. Rip's next move could either save the ranch, or turn everyone against him. And Beulah now faces the hardest decision of all: trust the man who protected her family, or stop the man who may become its biggest threat. Because at Dutton Ranch, every alliance has an expiration date. And when the final battle begins, nobody walks away unchanged. The ending of episode 7 could become the turning point that changes the entire direction of Dutton Ranch. The conflict between Rip, Beulah, and Rob is no longer just about revenge; it has become a battle for control, loyalty, and the future of everyone connected to the ranch. The biggest implication is that Rip's strategy has exposed his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. Rip is a man who understands pressure, fear, and loyalty. He knows Rob cannot be defeated by simply challenging him face to face, so he chooses a more dangerous approach, using Joaquin as the person closest to him. By turning Joaquin into the key piece of the plan, Rip believes he can destroy Rob influence from within. But this move creates a major problem. Rip may have won the battle, but he may have damaged the trust of the people he was trying to protect. Beulah discovering Rip's actions changes their relationship completely. For the first time, she sees that Rip is not just a protector, he is someone who is willing to make decisions without permission if he believes the outcome justifies it. This raises a major question: how far is Rip willing to go? Because if Rip can manipulate Joaquin to remove Rob will, what stops him from making similar choices in the future? Joaquin's character becomes one of the most important pieces moving forward. He started as someone caught between family loyalty and survival, but Rip's influence forces him to grow into someone who must finally choose what kind of person he wants to become. If Joaquin accepts Rip's way of handling problems, he could become the next person capable of protecting the ranch. But if he realizes he was only being used, he could become Rip's biggest opponent. His decision could determine whether the Jackson family stays together or completely breaks apart. Even after losing control, Rob will remains dangerous because he knows how to survive. His biggest advantage is information. He may know things about Beulah's past, Rip's motives, or hidden ranch secrets that nobody else wants revealed. Rob will understands that when a person cannot win through power, they win by exposing the truth. His final warning suggests he may not be trying to defeat Rip physically. He may be preparing to destroy him emotionally and politically by revealing something that changes how everyone sees Rip. The most important consequence of Episode 7 is that the enemy has changed. At the beginning, Rob will was the obvious threat, but after Rip's plan is revealed, the situation becomes more complicated. Now everyone has to ask, who is more dangerous? Rob will is becoming more suspicious. And Rip is acting like a man who already knows how this story ends. At first, Beulah believes Rip is simply trying to protect the ranch. But the more she watches, the more she realizes there is something deeper happening behind the scenes. She discovers that Rip has been meeting with Joaquin in secret. She realizes Joaquin hasn't been making his own moves, he's been following Rip's plan. And that's when the truth hits her. Rip isn't just fighting Rob will. He's using Joaquin to destroy him from the inside. Beulah confronts Rip and demands answers. She tells him that the ranch may have enemies outside the gates, but betrayal from within could be even more dangerous. Rip doesn't deny it. He explains that Rob will crossed a line, and sometimes protecting the people you love means making impossible choices. But Beulah sees the bigger picture. Because if Rip is willing to manipulate Joaquin to remove Rob will, what happens when Rip decides someone else becomes the next threat? The power struggle at Dutton Ranch changes forever. Beulah now knows Rip's secret, but the biggest question remains, will she expose Rip's plan, or will she let him finish what he started? Rob will has always believed he could control every situation. He thought he could manipulate his family. He thought he could stay one step ahead of Rip. But in Episode 7, he begins to realize something has changed. The people around him are no longer listening. The ranch is no longer moving according to his rules. And Joaquin's sudden distance becomes the first sign that something is wrong. Rob will starts putting the pieces together. The secret meetings. The strange conversations. The way Rip always seems to know what's coming next. Then the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Rip has been playing him the entire time. Rob will confronts Joaquin, demanding to know if Rip has turned him against his own family. For a moment, Joaquin says nothing. And that silence tells Rob will everything. He realizes his own brother may be the person standing between him and his future. But Rob will refuses to go down quietly. He sends one final warning to Rip and Beulah: if they think removing him will solve their problems, they have no idea what he is capable of. Because Rob will knows secrets too. And if he falls, he plans to take everyone down with him. The battle at Dutton Ranch is no longer hidden. The final showdown has begun. The biggest battle at Dutton Ranch may not be between enemies outside the ranch, it may be between two people who both believe they are protecting it. After Beulah discovers Rip's secret plan with Joaquin, everything changes. She realizes Rip didn't just step in to help her family, he started making decisions without her. And for Beulah, that is the one thing she cannot forgive. She confronts Rip and makes it clear, he may be respected. He may be feared. The person who openly causes destruction, or the person who quietly controls the outcome. Beulah is trapped between both sides. She needs Rip's strength. She fears Rip's methods. She knows Rob Will is a threat. But she also knows removing him may create a new problem. The biggest possibility heading into the next episode is that Beulah may stop choosing sides. Instead of backing Rip or Rob Will, she may decide to take control herself. Because after watching two powerful men fight for control of her family, she may realize, the only way to save Dutton Ranch, is to take the power back from both of them. The war started with Rob Will. But it may end with Rip and Beulah fighting over what the ranch becomes next.